How about if we have like bad weather and we have to move us to a backup plan?
We are great at doing group concessions.
You don't have to upgrade if you don't want to.
We do have an average between $1,000 and $400 or $2,000.
If they move from here into the restaurant's covered. Make sure you stay until the end for an exclusive wedding promo between Hola Weddings and Dreams Puerto Morelos. And let's jump into the hotel information. Hi, and welcome back to another episode of the Destination Wedding Podcast. Today we are here in Dreams Puerto Morelos with two very special guests. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Very well. Very happy to have you here. So my name is Ilians, and I'm the wedding sales manager of this wonderful property.
Okay.
Hey, Lisa. Good morning. It's great to have you here. My name is Manuel Lara. I am the Associate Director of Sales of the hotel.
All right. So we're going to jump into why this resort. What makes it different? We all know the names Dreams. There's a variety of different properties all throughout the Riviera Maya and Cancun. What makes this one different from the other ones?
Yeah, I can answer that.
Okay.
Dreams Puerto Morelos is proudly the first hotel, Lisa, to name itself after the destination where it's in. It's Puerto Morelos.
Okay.
That's kind of one of a huge thing
true.
that we do. So actually the government of Puerto Morelos is very proud of us because this area that everybody calls commercially Riviera Cancun, it's actually Puerto Morelos. So definitely the location is one of the things that highlights our hotel. And what I like to mention about our hotel, I think that simplicity sells better than complexity. Mm-hmm. And I really like to mention three pillars of our hotel that really make different Dreams Puerto Morelos, I said, from other dreams. The first thing is versatility by design. So we have 9 pools in total, and the way the hotel is shaped, it really creates this ambience that it really allows the guest to get comfortable and be at their own pace. I think nowadays the travelers are really looking into going at their own pace.
Yeah.
Secondly, I think we're very strong with groups. So I truly feel that we are great at doing group concessions. And we really understand what's behind all the planning and execution of a wedding or a corporate group. That's huge. And then third, holistic balance between what's wellness and also the unlimited luxury. Because we have the 24 hours gym open, and we also have this amazing spa with 12 treatments rooms, and it really combines with this unlimited luxury concept that is the Dreams brand, with 24 hours room service and open bars until 1 a.m.
Okay. Do you have anything to add?
I would love as well to highlight that we are just in Puerto Morelos, which is just 20 minutes apart from Cancun Airport, and we're just in between of Playa del Carmen and Cancun, which is super convenient as well for families. We are focusing in multi-generational families, so large parties with all different type of activities along the resort. So you can find out in our property fun patios or white parties. We do have our escapology rooms as well. So that's like a huge kind of activities all the day long, which we enjoy to offer as well to our clients.
Amazing. So mini geography lesson. When you land in Cancun Airport and you head south, the first area you're going to hit is Puerto Morelos, which is a little fishing town. It's like Playa del Carmen used to be 30 years ago. And then as you keep going, then you enter Riviera Maya, Playa del Carmen. So this is actually much closer to the airport.
Yes, actually, Lisa, now that you say that, long before Cancun and Riviera Maya, Playa del Carmen, well, worldwide known, Puerto Morelos was a commercial port to export chicle, the chewing gum, and tropical woods.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so chewing gum made out of the Mayan trees.
The trees, yeah.
Yeah, it was initially inaugurated on 1898. So it was before Cancun and Playa del Carmen.
So mini geography and mini history lesson here. Just to mention Dreams Resorts, we personally love them. We have a 5-year-old. So Kids Club, we have also a 19-year-old. So too cool now for teens clubs, but back in the day used to love the teens clubs. And Dreams is known for that, for having activities for every age, to being able to cater from small children all the way to grandparent age. So it is really good for all ages.
Yeah, we as well have our water park section. So we have a full building that it's an average of 40 rooms in where we can allocate the family and they can just jump in the pool and enjoy the splash section or even the slides there. So there's like a bunch of things, and just for us to understand a little bit more in regards of the layout of the property, it's as well a U-shaped forming where we have 11 buildings total, and we have almost one pool in front of each building that we love to highlight because it's a huge key selling point for our groups and for families in general. It's not like they will find one or just 3 pools along the property and that's it. You get to have like your own special place just near to your room, which is amazing.
Okay, so you're not piled one on top of the other. I think you can actually see the pool in the background.
Yeah.
So this looks amazing. I'll be here this Saturday, okay?
Yeah, and you can be even in between or in our main pool in where we have like the majority of the activities or more upbeat music, or even relax in the corner of the resort just for you to be reading a book or being with your family, enjoying swimming with your little ones. Just with the tranquility of the background noise about the birds and being surrounded by palm trees. So
yeah,
we have for everybody like to find their own space in our property.
Amazing. So it's really important for the wedding couple to be able to choose their venue, but taking into consideration the group that's traveling with you is also one of the key things you have to do, because you have to make sure that your guests are taking time off for this, they're spending money, they're coming all this way. You also want it to be a hotel that the guests are going to be wowed.
Correct. And it's very important to just kind of realize that it's not only to choose like the right venue for your ceremony, cocktail, or reception. It's just forget to vision like your group, like for them to enjoy enough the resort facilities, for you to get to catch and feel like that kind of connection with that property, because it's not only one day. You're going to be spending with us hopefully like a week, if not at least 3 days with us. So something that just take out the stress from the couple is for them to realize that you're like their group, it's going to be an experience of a lot of activities along the day and a lot of offerings. Like we do have 9 restaurants, 5 bars, besides the pool, a lot of activities. So that take out the stress from our couples, for them to realize that we do have variety of food along the property and everybody's going to experience a great time with us.
That's amazing. Okay, now we're going to jump into wedding venues and wedding packages.
Yeah.
So where do you want to start?
The favorite part of Aliens.
Yes, I would love to start with the venues.
Okay.
As Dreams brand, we work as well with corporate packages, in where we do have it well distributed in between the type of inclusions that our couples would like to get since the beginning, and how many guests do we are having as an average per group. But talking about the venues and what it makes difference with us, I would love to start highlighting that one of that big key selling points about having one pool in front of each building, we're able to allocate the group all together in one section for them to enjoy during their stay, that pool and that building.
Oh, wow.
And that way we're able to privatize that section for even a reception. Then we can program a pool party. So you get to have like your own space in our property.
Okay.
As well, we do only one wedding per day.
So it's almost like an exclusive section for that group in the resort.
Correct.
That's really cool.
So it's just for you to spend the time in the holidays with your family and friends all together. If possible, of course, it will be based on the room category that they choose. But that's one of our huge key selling points for you to be enjoying like one section of the property. So that way you're able to get more intimacy or privacy with your events and the rest of your stay in general.
Okay. Amazing.
So that's one thing that I would love to highlight. And as well, that we do only one wedding per day. It doesn't matter the size. So we start weddings since only the couple until 250 people.
Wow.
In where our ballroom can fit more than 300 people. But just for us to be safe in regards of the layout itself of a reception or of a cocktail, we do only one wedding per day. So all the operation will be focused in your group. sometimes we don't realize since the beginning if a resort is managing like several events or your wedding, but trust me that the experience that your guest and you will be having on that time will change completely. How about if we have like bad weather and we have to move us to a backup plan? It's not like we're going to be having 3 groups. It's going to be only your wedding party.
Okay, so pay attention. Only one wedding a day. You'll get exclusive service.
Correct. The other thing that I would love to highlight before we jump back at the venues is that we start the planning process right away.
You do.
So it doesn't matter if you book your wedding for 2027 December, I will say at this time, we start the planning process, reviewing the initial details. We have checklists. You get assigned with your wedding coordinator that actually will make the operation of your wedding. So the person that will start reviewing all the details will be managing the events, which for us it's like super important for us to catch like that important detail since the beginning and for you to get to connect with that person. At the end of the day, it's not another day in our office or outside like managing or operating an event. It's like for us to get to connect with you. So we start with video calls. For you to get to know us, like who are the persons behind those emails.
Yeah, because it's a really important day for people, so they want to feel connected to the team that are taking care of them.
Definitely. So all the time we're looking forward to get to connect first with the couple, even if they know already like their package and they are familiar with the properties or they have seen some pictures about our venues. It's for us to get to know them. And for us to get to catch as well their vision, as you may be like looking for an oceanfront venue, but it's important for us to get to know the background of every group, for us to be like as an experts, the ones that align that vision and make the wedding come to life with all that important details.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Good.
So
do you have a favorite venue? Like one that's...
Well, it's difficult for me to choose,
I know,
to be honest, because we do have 4 gardens. We have another plenty of spaces, like spaces as mentioning, like we're able to use the pool decks that we have in where we have 9 pools. So I would love to start with our over-the-water gazebo. And I have a picture here for you to see it.
Over the water.
Yeah.
Very popular.
This over-the-water gazebo was actually broken by a hurricane that hit us like
I remember
a year and a half, 2024. Mm-hmm. So it broke the entire dock, and we had to replace it because we had a wedding on December last year.
Okay.
So a couple months ago, we refurnished everything. So it's looking new and fresh.
It's beautiful.
So it's a gazebo just at the middle of the ocean in where you will be surrounded only for Mother Nature, and that's it. So it's very important for us to get to have like that kind of privacy, which we understand that sometimes it's very difficult to find out in a resort. So for you to get to connect with your family and friends that will be traveling with you all the way long to for a destination wedding. So I think that the over-the-water gazebo has like that unique experience and vibe in between of the ocean for you to have the walk out and get those very nice pictures surrounded by the reef that we are in front. So
it's quite the aisle to walk down.
Yeah.
And then what's the capacity for this, for a ceremony?
So we offer this venue for 45 people.
Okay.
It's in a small area, I will say, like very intimate. So our average, and we offer this area for 45 guests.
Okay. And then this picture in particular, can you talk about the costs?
Yeah, so basically in this case, because we are just in between of the ocean, we have to request a federal fee that it's mandatory
the
in our
beach
area,
fee, yeah.
which we right now it's $400. $450. The menu itself doesn't cost any additional. However, we have to just consider that payment towards. And from there, if you see in this picture, we only have like upgraded chairs, in where the average cost is between $12 to $18.
And those chairs move with the group, right? So if you're going to your reception, you can move the chairs.
Yeah, actually, this gazebo connects into a restaurant.
Okay.
So we can plan to have like the ceremony, cocktail, and reception just in the same area, all private. We are not going to have for sure guests like close by or like next to while the photographer is taking pictures like some other family. So yeah, we're able to move these chairs towards the reception.
Okay.
In that case.
And the flowers in that image, how much are those? Because that arch is beautiful.
Yeah, so in this gazebo, we're able to place like shears over the ceiling to have like kind of that decorated pergola. But on specific on this range, we do have an average between $1,000 and $400 or $2,000. It all depends how much greenery the couple would like to add, or if it's like flowers on a specific that we must consider it. This is just an average because we have to color suppliers, and it all depends on the season, on the group size, or the quantity that it's requested. It will be the price that it's going to come from a third party.
No, an average is good. We're not expecting this to stand in for someone that calls next year and says, I want that arch, and Ilian said it was so much.
Yeah, no, we customize the experience and all the decor. For sure, we're able to share these pictures and the average cost. However, like as mentioned, every couple has like their own style and vibe, and we go by catching their vision. It's not like, okay, this is what we have.
Okay. So if they move from here into the restaurant's covered? It's a closed venue?
It's a closed venue.
Is it an extra cost?
Restaurant. To like the moving fee, not really.
Okay.
No, because we are in the same location.
But for the restaurant?
For the restaurant, we have to rent it.
Okay.
As those are like coming as part of our premium sections.
Mm-hmm.
Just to have in mind that we have 9 restaurants. So anytime that we reserve a restaurant, we have to allocate that activity or that offering towards a garden for the rest of our guests.
Yes.
So yes, the restaurants based on which one would you like to have, and the average guest number goes in between of $3,000 to $5,000.
Okay, but that way you can, if you rent a restaurant, you're pretty much ensuring that that's your backup.
Yeah, you're privatizing the full section for you.
So if in the case that there was rain or inclement weather, you don't have to move to a ballroom, your plan goes off exactly the way that you made it.
Yes, and sometimes it's more convenient to rent a restaurant instead of being renting a tent, to be honest. It looks like much nicer, as the restaurant itself comes with their own charming about the decor, the lighting.
Yeah.
So there's no too many things, to be honest, and based on our experience that you have to have.
Mm-hmm. I think that's very important, Lisa, because once from personal experience, my cousin was getting married and she had to move to a backup, and her wedding planner and herself didn't know where to go. And when you don't secure a backup, that can happen. It's a possibility. So instead of planning ahead, you gotta run on the show, right? Like it's. I think you mentioned something very important that will give our couples peace of mind.
Peace of mind, absolutely. Because that's one of the biggest things and one of the questions that we get even a year and a half in advance in the planning is, do you think it's going to rain? I don't know if it's going to rain. But we can talk about backup locations and we can talk about the options. And in this case, they're really making it much simpler for themselves if they have the budget to say, I want that restaurant. They know from the moment they book that they don't need a backup.
Yeah. As far as contractual policies, here's a contractual lesson. Normally, your contract will have a venue secure for your ceremony and also for your reception. But in case you are doing it outdoors, the hotel internally will have to secure a spot indoors. That it's at their own discretion. But when you make the decision,
Yeah. Yeah, but one of the other advantages to one wedding a day is you're secured. You absolutely have a backup location.
We're all focused in that group. And it doesn't matter that even at the planning process, if you would like to change your mind because maybe you saw another picture that got and catch your interest, and we're able to manage that type of flexibility in between of the planning process.
Okay. And other than the gazebo for ceremonies, after that, you mentioned there's gardens, there's pool terraces. What are the other venues that are available?
So we have one unique venue as well, in where we know few properties manage the acrylic stage, but in our case, we are able to place
over the water platform.
Yes, we are able to do an over the water ceremony or even a reception, but in an arch. So you will be in between of one of our pools, where you will be having water behind and at the front, plus the ocean, and just in between being managing your intimate ceremony or reception. So I'm see
stealing
this picture.
This
I love that venue, Lisa, because it will give your guests shade. I think that's important when you're getting married, May, June, July. Shades are so important.
Or even for South Asian weddings, in where we know that some couples are looking to have like their ceremony kind of earlier. Like I will say that will be my go-to venue.
This is absolutely beautiful, and it has a wow factor that a lot of other venues. I mean, the venues are beautiful. You have tropical gardens, you have the ocean, you have the blue of the Caribbean, but an over-the-water platform really has that wow effect.
Yes, for you to be in between of a pool, like all that pool can be secluded for your group. So it's not like we're using the main pool or we have guests next to us. And again, remember that we're able to allocate all your group together in that section. So even since the balcony of the rooms, then we're able to privatize like that kind of intimacy that it's needed at the time that you are like exchanging your vows.
Okay, but looking at this picture, I would go, oh my goodness, that's at least $20,000. What are the costs for this?
So in this case, it depends if we would like to add the acrylic stage. It's not necessary. What we do on a specific in this venue, it's that we decrease the level of the water, as in between of the pool we do have this kind of floor.
Okay.
So it's not necessary for couples to be adding towards the acrylic stage. However, if they would love to do that, the acrylic stage has an average of $4,000.
Okay.
The pool decks has an additional cost of $1,000 because, again, we have to privatize that section from
area,
the rest of our guests. And usually we have setups there. So it's like the valley beds, the beach beds there. So we have to move everything since a night prior for us to be able to place accordingly the next day very early, like to start with the setup and everything. So in that picture, you will see like the privatized section, which is $1,000. The acrylic stage that, again, can be rented or not necessary. We're able to fit 120 guests on the floor.
Okay.
So we can just dry or take out the water for us to have like the clear floor. Or again,
this arch and the florals that are next to the chairs are insane. How much are we looking at for that?
So the chairs, again, goes in between of $12 to $18, and the average price of that flower arrangement it's between $3,000. Okay. And again, this is just an average because we're able to mix and match between silk, petals, or florals and natural ones.
Okay, so if people just wanted the platform and the rental venue, like paying the venue rental by the pool, it's about $5,000.
Correct.
If you compare that to a U.S. venue rental, it's pennies, and you have an over-the-water platform.
Yes.
It's very competitive. And, Lisa, when you get to a certain minimum number of rooms in that location specifically, we're talking about 80
rooms.
80
because
rooms.
We have 2 buildings.
If you secure those 80 rooms, you avoid the fee of lowering down the water because you're taking the guest rooms that will normally use that pool.
Okay.
So no other guests will be nearby that pool. So by taking only the 80 rooms, just elite those $1,000.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And again, we can plan a brunch there or a pool party, like we will have your group on that section.
So in order to privatize a section, it's a minimum of 80 rooms?
It depends on the section that you want to privatize.
Okay.
For instance, there's a pool at one of the corners of the hotel that it also takes 80 rooms. There is, for instance, our preferred club pool, it's 123 guest rooms.
Okay.
It varies depending on the area
On the
and
area.
the zone that you will take.
But the minimum would be 80?
Yeah,
Roughly
exactly.
80. Okay, good to keep in mind. So for larger weddings, South Asian weddings especially,
Yes, it's perfect venue because you have like your guests close by to the venue. They don't have to walk long distances, and like we are able to privatize if you're allocated on that area. Then we can just, of course, waive the extras fees that may be needed for us to privatize the section. But as well, if you are less guest or if you have less guests towards that, we still are able to choose that as your preferred venue.
okay, perfect. Now I'm looking at a picture of a garden, and this has a lot of things that are already included in the package.
Correct.
So
Yes.
what are we looking at now?
So, as coming on the packages, we have included our papaya sand area, which is at the very front of the venue, and the gardens, in where we have 4. So, in this spot, you don't have to pay any additional as a venue rental. And in this picture, you will see that we have the tables that come as part of the package. So, are like the round tables that can fit 8 or even 10 guests total, with the white tablecloth that as well comes included. And in here we have as an upgrades the chairs, again between $12 to $18 each. Centerpieces that it can be in between of $70, and the string lights, in where we start as an average price of $1,000.
Okay. So when you say included in the package, the 2 most popular packages are the Eternal Love
Correct.
and the Beyond Memorable.
Yes.
So both of those packages include the round tables with the white tablecloth.
Yes, white tablecloth, silverware, the clear glasses.
Okay, and you also you get chairs, just not those chairs. So you get the white avant-garde chairs,
Correct.
and you don't have to upgrade if you don't want to.
Yes, not absolutely. Like we already have included on our packages, like what's the necessary things for us to cover. So you have the service included, so the waiters, the international open bar, the food included, the furniture. It doesn't matter if you get to have like a sitting assignment and then we have to place 10 or just 5 chairs. It all comes included in the packages. And as well, you will see in these pictures that what it makes like the touches between maybe your color palette and the style that you're looking for will be these little touches that can be in the chairs and a centerpiece. And
Okay.
that's it. Like at the end of the day, you are surrounded by palm trees and you have the garden. So the pictures that you take are like amazing already.
It's not like renting a church basement.
Yes, yes. So it's just for us to be able to add your touch, like your colors, your style and vibe. Again,
Yeah, little tweaks that make it
Yes.
you.
correct. But again, those are extras because we don't know what you're looking for. So we start since the packages with all the necessary for us to cover and being operated your celebration.
Okay. And when you're working through the process with your travel agent or our sales team preferably, they can guide you as to what package would be the best based on the group size, based on what it is that you're looking for, the inclusions that you're looking for. And we always recommend upgrading the package versus downgrading the package. So
Yes.
yeah, talk through this with whoever's helping you with your room block, and they should be able to guide you in the right direction when it comes to packages.
Yes, absolutely. And I will be the first person to touch base with you directly. I love to get to meet you, first of all, because that's the way for us to get to understand or even explain better like the options, as we know that sometimes for our couples it's difficult to predict if they're going to be incoming with that 70 guests that they have invited. So we are here, we have your back, so we are the ones that can guide you along the process, and I would love to start connecting with you.
And I agree, even with our sales team, it's really hard. You can connect over email and you can send your Pinterest boards and you can send your guest list and you can send information, but to actually understand what the vision is for the wedding, what the personal preferences are for the couple, if there's anything that they want or they absolutely don't want, it's so much easier to have a video call and actually just speak to a human. Yes. And them speak to a human back and not just be getting, oh, here's catalog 1 and here's catalog 2, let us know what you want.
Yes, we don't go with cookie tier weddings. We customize the experience since the beginning, as mentioning. And well, we love to get to connect. Like, that's the most important thing for us to realize and showcase here with you, that we have plenty options along the Riviera Maya, but the type of connection and that help in between of the planning process, definitely you will find it in Dreams Puerto Morelos.
Amazing. I know that our team and your team works extremely well together. So
yeah. So we are here to assist and to start to connect as well with you.
All right. So in addition to weddings, you do vow renewals?
Yes, we do vow renewals. We do quinceañeras. We are able to do Mayan ceremonies.
Okay.
So different type of celebrations. Like, we have a team behind scenes that it's super professional and ready to start the planning with you.
Okay. And then you also do different types of groups, like
mostly
birthday
we get
trips.
Corporate groups, it's one of the things we get a lot.
Okay.
But we definitely do incentives. We do birthday bash.
Okay.
The bachelors. So any type of social groups, any social celebrations, you gotta invite me, but...
Although our name is Hola Weddings, we do groups. So if you do need information for corporate incentives, bachelor parties, etc., you can get in touch. We're happy to help.
The ones. And actually, we do have certifications, whereas we are part of the International Wedding Professionals and Wedding Destination Planners. So we do have that certification. We have done South Asian weddings and even African weddings. So we're very familiar about the different type of celebrations. We do have that certification too, and we do also do same-sex weddings.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
At this point, I don't see why anybody wouldn't. But yeah, it's great to have the certifications to go along with it, so that the entire team understands culturally what's implicated and what comes along with it.
Yes, definitely. Like, that makes, like, for you to be confident about, of course, we are professionals. We have been working maybe several years along our lives in operating events, but for us to be having certifications, for sure, it put us like that type of quality in all the services and general experiences with us.
Okay. And now everybody's favorite part, we're going to talk about an exclusive promotion. So Dreams Puerto Morelos has partnered with Hola Weddings to offer us this exclusive promotion for our wedding couples. And apparently they still have dates available for this year. So if you want a smaller ceremony, a vow renewal, something for 2026 anniversary party, there's still dates available, correct?
Yes, absolutely. Like, we're able to plan even with less into a month, everything that you may need. Like,
okay, I take that back. Less than a month is craziness for us. It depends on the size of the group.
Yes, it depends definitely on the size of the group.
You're braver than I am.
But we're ready. Like, we're ready for you. Yes. Okay. So in this case, we do have a special promotion only with Hola Weddings. So we have a tu boda gratis, which means that the ceremony will be covered.
Translation is your free wedding.
Correct. So in this package that we're like showcasing with you, it's pretty much like the ceremony with all the necessary amenities for us to go towards the celebration. So it means non-denominational minister included, the venue included, chairs, the gazebo placed as well, the cake for your group included, and we just need to have your room. So in here we have like two different options in where we will see in our brochure. We have since 15 rooms in our preferred club section or preferred club rooms for 3 nights, or even 25 rooms for 3 nights. And with that, you have this package covered.
Wow.
I think we also include boutonniere and bouquet.
Yes,
right?
personal flowers too.
And is there a booking window for this?
So in this case, we are like launching since right now that we have the podcast until the end of the year, and for 2026 and 2027 weddings.
Okay. Sounds amazing. So free wedding, if you want a free wedding. And this also works for vow renewals.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Thank you so much. Very exciting.
Yes, we do. We are super excited.
Yeah,
Okay.
and when we say 15 guest rooms, preferred club, those preferred club rooms are ocean view. So there's two things. So either you want the ocean view and only 15 rooms, or 25. Our standard rooms, which are amazing, spacious suites, are also great for the promotion.
Yeah, right now we're in a garden view, so the view behind us is amazing. And when I walked into the room earlier, I honestly thought it was some sort of suite because it's massive. There's a bathtub. It's really, really big.
62 square meters.
Okay.
This is our standard size. And from here we go upper.
Wow. Okay. That sounds amazing. All right. Before we sign off, is there anything we missed? Anything you want to add?
There are so many things that I would love to add, honestly.
We
Lisa.
can spend an hours here with you, definitely.
Okay,
I think we cover
Well, actually, where we are sitting right now, Lisa, it's our adults pool and one of the 9 pools total. And what I really like about this venue is that, as you can see, it has this
No
amazing
screaming
pool.
children.
No screaming children.
That's my favorite part.
As you can,
yes.
as you can perceive, there's a lot of quietness here. So there's an ambience for everybody. And talking about going back to the acrylic stage, if you really are into being on top of the water, this pool it's great for smaller ceremonies, but this entire section can be used for the ceremony as well. So picture yourself
Good to know.
going out of the garden, out of your terrace, and getting to your ceremony venue.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah. So we can continue and
Yeah, we could talk for hours.
Talk for hours.
Yes, but I think we have highlight the most important key selling points from this wonderful property. I hope you visit us soon. We know and you will love the pictures, but when you step in our property and you realize the intimacy between all the venues, then it will change completely your vision about us.
Okay. Amazing. Thank you so much for taking the time. We really appreciate it. Thank you for tuning in for the Destination Wedding podcast once again with Hola Weddings. And if you have any questions at all, please get in touch.
Thank you.
Thank you.